Hey y'all, it's Jessica from Sloppy Swatches. Today I have the Spring Whimsy collection available right now from Glitter Daze. I'll go ahead and link her social media and storefront down below. These were sent to me for review and they'll retail for $12.50 a piece. If you'd like to see more photos, I will have those on my blog, and I'll also have the futuristic collection coming really soon as well. So I'll go ahead and jump into today's swatches. So first up is Kerfuffle, and Kerfuffle is a bright pink jelly base with opal flakies, silver holographic multi-flakies, and micro shifter, as well as shifty shimmers. So these are very complex with lots of flakies and lots of hollow. I'll go ahead and show you a brush shot, and I'll show you how Kerfuffle swatched on my natural nail. So here is one easy coat. I feel like I'm going to be a little bit repetitive. Much of these polishes have the same exact formula. This first coat goes on with a nice flush of color, lots of flakies and lots of hollow, but it is still really sheer. So I'll let that dry and then come back in and show you what my second coat looks like. So here is my second coat. I don't think you necessarily need to do a thick or thin coat. I think with all of these at 2 coats, it's really close to being opaque, but I do believe that they all needed a third. You do get a ton of flakies here. I'll go ahead and let that dry and come back and show you what my third coat looks like. So here is my third and final coat, and this does bring this completely opaque. I didn't have to worry too much about where the flakies went. They kind of spread out all on their own. Also didn't notice that they dried down textured at all, so that's a good thing. So here is that third coat, and here's a look at that completed mani before top coat, so not super textured here. A good top coat, of course, will smooth everything out and bring out all of that holographic. The awesome thing about these polishes is that they look amazing underneath all lighting. So here's a view from an angle with top coat underneath direct sunlight. You get a lot of the hollow, but in the shade or in indoor lighting, a lot of those flakies are going to pop. So this is my swatch photo at an angle in direct sunlight. So next up is Razzle Dazzle, and I think that this is my top pick of this collection. I love them all, but this one feels special. It's described as a dazzling peach jelly base with opal flakies, silver holographic micro flakies, and micro shimmer, as well as shifty shimmers. I love how those opal flakies look on this peach base. I'll go ahead and show you a brush shot, and I'll show you how Razzle Dazzle swatched on my natural nail. So here is my first coat. It does go on nice and smooth. You're not going to get too much grit in this formula. It is just a little bit sheer at this first coat, so I'll let this dry and then come back in for the second. So here's a look at my second coat. This does build up that opacity and adds a little bit of depth. It was just still shy of being opaque for me, so I'll let this dry and then show you what my third coat looks like. So here is my third and final coat, and you can see there that 2 coats dries down almost completely opaque, so you may be able to get away with 2. I do prefer 3 for my nails. I do have that really harsh nail line. So 3 coats brings this one completely opaque. Here's a look at that completed mani before top coat. Here's a view from another angle in direct sunlight with top coat. I feel like I'm failing at picking up those flakies, but they are very evident on the nail. So that is my swatch photo under artificial lighting, and then once more at an angle in that direct sunlight. So next up is Scrumdiddlyumptious, and I'm loving the names of these polishes. This is described as a turquoise green jelly base with those opal flakies, silver holographic micro flakies, and micro shimmer, as well as shifty shimmers. This one is a little bit more green than it's showing on my camera. My camera loves to pull out those cool tones. So there's a quick brush shot, and I'll show you how Scrumdiddlyumptious swatched on my natural nail. So this first coat does go on nice and smooth and pretty well even, maybe a little bit patchy, but still sheer. So I'll let that dry and then show you what my second coat looks like. So here's a quick look at that second coat. It does add some depth as well as some more of that turquoise pigment, but it is still pretty sheer for me. So I'll let this dry and then show you what my third coat looks like. So here's a look at my third coat. I am going to opt in to go for a little bit of a thicker third coat with this one, and it does bring it completely opaque. If you notice at 3 coats it's looking a little bit sheer for you still, you may need to go in and spot check. I think I had to do that towards my tips for a few of these. So here's a look at that completed mani before top coat. Here's a view from another angle in direct sunlight with top coat. This is my swatch photo under artificial lighting, and then once more at an angle in direct sunlight. So next up is Splendiferous, and Splendiferous is described as an aqua blue jelly base with opal flakies, silver holographic micro flakies, and micro shimmer, as well as those shifty shimmers. So this one definitely does peel more blue as opposed to Scrumdiddlyumptious. So I'll go ahead and show you a brush shot, and I'll show you how Splendiferous swatched on my natural nail. So much the same formula. This first coat does go on nice and easy, really smooth, but quite sheer. So I'll do this first coat, let it dry, and then come back in and show you what my second coat looks like. So here's a quick look at that second coat. It does build up that jelly base quite a bit, and of course adds more flakies as well as holographic glitters. It is still just a little bit sheer for me though, so I'll let this dry and then come back in and show you what my third coat looks like. So here's a look at my third and final coat, and this does pull this one completely opaque for me. I do feel like all of these were really 3 coaters. Maybe if you have shorter nails, you could get away with 2. Sponging, of course, is also an option, but I don't really think it's necessary though. So here's a look at that completed mani at 3 coats before top coat. Here's a view from another angle in direct sunlight with top coat. This is my swatch photo underneath artificial lighting. And then once more at an angle in that direct sunlight. So next up is Abracadabra, and this is another favorite of mine. It's described as a magical periwinkle jelly base with opal flakies, silver holographic micro flakies, and micro shimmer, as well as those shifty shimmers. I love the opal flakes on this purple base. I'll go ahead and show you a brush shot, and I'll show you how Abracadabra swatched on my natural nail. So here is this first coat. It does add just a flush of color, but tons of those flakies and lots of that hollow. So I'll let this dry and then come back in for a second coat. One thing I want to mention is that you don't have to fish for the flakies at all. You don't have to shake your bottle really to get it all mixed up. It is perfectly suspended. This second coat does deepen up that purple base and adds more of those flakies and hollow. It's still just a little bit sheer for my taste though, so I'll let that dry and then show you what my third coat looks like. This third coat does bring it completely opaque for me. I really don't even know what else to add. It's just a really lovely finish. I love the flakies on the hollow. Most of the time that combination is subtle, but these really aren't. So here's a look at that completed mani before top coat. Here's a view from another angle in direct sunlight with top coat. This is my swatch photo under artificial lighting. And then once more at an angle in direct sunlight. So lastly today I have Zingin Xing is described as a lavender jelly base with opal flakies, silver holographic micro flakies, and micro shimmer, and those shifty shimmers. So this one might have a touch of pink or maybe a little bit of that orchid shade in here. Still a really beautiful combination. I'll go ahead and show you a brush shot, and I'll show you how Xing swatched on my natural nail. Here is this first coat, just another nice flush of color, ton of those flakies as well as that holographic, but still pretty sheer. I'm wondering if these could be toppers. I love flakies, especially over a deeper base. So I'll go ahead and show you what my second coat looks like. It does deepen up that color, add some depth, but it's still just shy of being opaque for me. So I'll let this dry and then come back in for my third coat. So here's a quick look at that third coat. This one, of course, does bring this one completely opaque for me. I had no problems at all, no issues at all. Just expect, I think, to do 2 to 3 coats. So here's a look at that completed mani before top coat. Here's a view from another angle in direct sunlight with top coat. This is my swatch photo underneath artificial lighting. And then lastly, at an angle in that direct sunlight. So that does wrap up today's swatch and review of the Spring Whimsy collection, available right now. If you're interested in seeing the futuristic collection swatched, I will have those later this evening, so tune back in. If you'd like to see more photos, I do have those available on my blog at sloppyswatches.wordpress.com, or you can follow me on Instagram at sloppyswatches. So thanks so much for watching, guys. See you next time.